Hey everyone, I'm Peter Rawlis and welcome to Movie Buzz. Today's topic has to do with time travel, more specifically about Looper's Gap in Logic. I will be spoiling that movie, so just a heads up. But before we get into that, I need to explain the rules of traveling through time. I know time travel doesn't exist, so technically you can make up any rules you want, but there is one major rule that has to apply to everything. H.G. Wells' The Time Machine was adapted into two movies, one in 1960 and one in 2002. The 1960 version is better, but the 2002 movie made an amazing rule of thumb for time travel, and believe it or not, it actually makes sense. Guy Pearce plays a mechanical engineering professor, and one night while he's out with his girlfriend in the park, they are confronted by a mugger who shoots and kills his girlfriend. Devastated by this, Guy Pearce is determined to build a time machine. Once he completes it, he goes back in time and avoids the park with his girlfriend. But when they run across town, she is killed again by a runaway horse carriage. The point being that Guy Pearce can never stop her from dying because it's her death that inspires him to build the time machine. So if she lives, then the time machine wouldn't exist and he wouldn't exist.
I could come back 1,000 times. See her die 1,000 ways.
So the rule is that you can't change the past if it affects why you went back in time in the first place. This rule also applies to the Terminator franchise because the T-1000 is sent back in time to kill John Connor, but Connor always survives throughout the movies because he has to exist in the future in order for a Terminator to be sent back in time in the first place.
Who sent you?
You did. 35 years from now.
Now this brings us to Looper. The problem with the movie is that the same moment in time happens two different ways. These loopers have to kill people who are sent from the future to be disposed of in the past. Then in order to, quote, close their loops, they have to kill their future self. So the way they set up Bruce Willis's character is that he kills his future hooded self, moves to China, meets the love of his life, and then when it's his time to go back and be killed by his past self, he fights back and goes through the portal unhooded. So the problem is that the original hooded Bruce Willis should have also been unhooded because that guy just lived the exact same life that Bruce Willis is about to live. The constant has to be that the future Bruce Willis always wants to live. So what should have happened is just to show the unhooded Willis show up, fight it out with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, then Levitt needs to survive and grow up to be Bruce Willis again. Then when it's his time to go back, he would fight back and go through the portal unhooded again. This would in fact cause a real loop in time. But the movie actually ends with Joseph Gordon-Levitt killing himself, making the future Bruce Willis disappear. That just overly complicates things because the already existing future would be messed up. Now the next big time travel movie is going to be X-Men Days of Future Past. According to IMDb, the plot is the X-Men send Wolverine to the past to change a major historical event that could globally impact man and mutant kind. So in order for this movie to make sense, whatever Wolverine does in the past, he can't be successful because his future self wouldn't need a reason to go back. Therefore, he wouldn't have gone back in the first place. I hope all of that is clear. You may have to watch this video again or just think about it some more because everything I've said is correct.